It had been pouring rain in Glasgow all afternoon. The grey rain seemed to mirror Sam Heughan's mood as he left the set of Outlander, a tense, heavy shoot filled with averted eyes. No one dared to say anything, but everyone heard. They all witnessed that moment, when Caitriona Balfe, his close co-star and former confidant, looked him straight in the eye and said coldly, "You're a loser, Sam. I chose the wrong person to trust." Those words echoed across dozens of people, amid the bright lights, amid the oppressive silence. And it changed everything. For nearly a decade, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe have been symbols of friendship, chemistry, and even ambiguity that captivated millions of Outlander fans. The on-screen Jamie-Claire couple was not just a role, but the soul of the entire show. Together they had weathered countless rumors, fabricated articles, and endless love rumors. Sam had defended Caitriona in the media. Caitriona had stood up for Sam when he was attacked on social media. But everything seemed to have changed since they shot the final season of Outlander. The pressure, the tight shooting schedule, the disagreements over the script, and the pent-up emotions, all of them were like a bomb waiting to explode. Insider sources revealed that the conflict between them started over an intimate scene in the final episode. Sam believed that the scene should be kept in its original spirit, romantic, sincere, and respectful of the iconic love between Jamie and Claire. But Caitriona wanted to show it in a different way, cold, decisive, as a way to close the Outlander era with a goodbye. The two argued fiercely. The director had to stop filming. The whole crew was silent. And in that moment, Caitriona said something that silenced the entire studio. "You always try to be strong, Sam, but you don't know how to win. You're a loser. And maybe I've chosen the wrong people to trust all these years." The news spread like wildfire. Although no one from the film crew spoke out, a few hours later, entertainment news sites began posting the story with sensational headlines. Caitriona Balfe insults Sam Heughan on the set of Outlander. Social media exploded. Fans were divided into two camps. One side defended Caitriona, claiming she was just speaking the truth after years of suffering. The other side defended Sam, asserting that he has always been professional, humble, and kind. Sam chose to remain silent. He did not post any articles, did not respond to interviews. There was only one image on his Instagram that evening, a black and white photo of a misty Scottish hill, accompanied by a short caption. "Sometimes silence is the only answer we have." Caitriona, on the other hand, appeared at a film event in Dublin the next day. When asked about the incident by a reporter, she smiled faintly. "I have nothing to apologize for. I just said what I thought. I used to trust Sam, but sometimes trust is limited." That statement further inflamed public opinion. Sam returns to his apartment in Edinburgh, away from all the noise. He looks at the old photos hanging on the wall, moments of them laughing together, running in the rain together, behind-the-scenes shots of Outlander from the first seasons. He remembers the first time he met Caitriona at the casting. She walked into the room, her eyes bright, her voice soft and firm. Jamie and Claire, the two souls they were about to embody, seemed to have recognized each other from a previous life. From then on, they went through everything together. Harsh scenes in the deep woods, bitter cold days in Scotland, long months away from home. They shared joys, cried together, laughed together. And now, in just a few sentences, it was all erased. He wonders, what did he do wrong? Was he too rational, too honest, or simply too trusting of that friendship? A week after the incident, Caitriona Balfe participated in an interview with Harper's UK magazine. When asked about her relationship with Sam, she did not shy away. "Sam was a good person. I used to think so. But in the end, I realized that he did not understand me, did not understand who I was, and what I needed. For many years, I was always the one to compromise, always give in. In the end, I found that I chose the wrong person to put my trust in." The reporter asked again. Do you regret it? She smiled slightly, her eyes sad. I regret letting my heart trust too much. But perhaps, each of us has a Jamie Fraser, and then in the end realized he was just a character in the script. That sentence was like a knife that pierced deep into the hearts of fans, and Sam Heughan. When asked about Caitriona's comments, Sam kept it short in a TV interview in London. I don't want to argue. I respect her, both as a colleague and as a person. But sometimes when someone calls you a loser, it says more about them than it does about you. His voice was low and calm, but there was a pain in his eyes that was hard to hide. Caitriona was then harshly criticized by a section of the fan community. They thought she betrayed the co-star with whom she created the Outlander legend. But Caitriona stood her ground, not apologizing, not explaining. A source from the crew added. Sam has always been patient and gentle. But when they were filming the finale, Sam wanted to keep the soul of Jamie, a loyal and faithful man. Caitriona wanted Claire to be more realistic, stronger, less dependent on love. Both were right, but they forgot that, between right and wrong, sometimes just one word is enough to lose each other. People in the crew said that after the incident, Sam and Caitriona hardly spoke to each other anymore. They only exchanged when necessary, always keeping their distance. There was no more laughter, no more hugs after the scene. Only a cold, empty feeling remained. On the day of filming the last scene of Outlander, the whole crew stood around the two, Jamie and Claire, holding hands for the last time on screen. No one said anything, but everyone felt the emotions rising. After the director shouted, "Cut," everyone applauded, tears falling. Sam stepped forward, holding out his hand to Caitriona. Thank you for coming with me to the end of this story. She looked at him, her eyes flashing with something very real, regret, torment, then nodded slightly. Good luck, Sam. Number more, Jamie. No more, Claire. Just two people who once understood each other, now strangers. A few months after Outlander wrapped, Caitriona started a new project, an art film in France. Meanwhile, Sam spent his time hiking, writing books and participating in some volunteer activities. He avoided mentioning the past, but in chats with fans, when someone mentioned Caitriona, he just smiled slightly. I wish her happiness. After all, every journey needs an end, Caitriona, in another interview, also admitted. I don't regret saying what I thought. But maybe I was too blunt. After all, Sam is still an important part of my career. It felt like a half-hearted apology, gentle but belated. A year later, at the Scottish Screen Awards, Sam Heughan was unexpectedly honored with the award for Favourite Actor of the Decade. When he stepped onto the stage, he received a standing ovation. And then, in a moment of silence, he said, I once heard someone say I was a loser. Maybe it's true, if loser means I loved too much, believed too deeply, and have no regrets about it. But if I had to choose again, I would still take that path, because it made me who I am today. The audience stood up and applauded. In the audience, Caitriona sat quietly. The spotlight reflected in her eyes, where pride and regret were mixed together, unable to be expressed in words. Life is sometimes cruel, turning people who used to walk together into two lost people. Caitriona Balfe may have said harsh words, but behind them was the pain of a woman who once trusted too deeply. Sam Heughan may have been hurt, but he chose to remain silent to preserve the last bit of beauty. In the world of stars, where the halo is easily blinding, perhaps only those who have loved and lost can understand that. There are no losers in love, only those who are no longer brave enough to hold on to each other. And perhaps, somewhere in both of their hearts, Jamie and Claire still exist, not on the screen, but in memories that will never fade.